Hello, good evening and welcome. You're watching this edition of the Blueprint Explosive Exclusive with me, Sagarika Mitra. And on this edition, we're going to ask 5 very important questions because this has to do with the astha of millions of devotees of Lord Balaji. And what are the questions we're going to ask, especially after that sensational revelation by none other than the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh? Animal fat, can you believe it, was used in the prasadam, the Tirupati laddoo, the sacred laddoo that is considered so holy to so many Hindus. Was animal fat used in it, and was that overlooked by the Jagan Reddy administration? Let's bring up the questions that we're asking this evening on the Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. Was beef tallow used in prasadam? There is a report that has now emerged, and as per this report, foreign fat was found in the samples that were taken for testing to a lab in Gujarat. What is that foreign fat? In that report, beef tallow has been mentioned. Was beef tallow used? Was pig fat or lard? Was that used in the Tirumala Prasadam? Was fish oil used in the Tirupati laddoos? And let's also shift our focus to this report that has now come out after that explosive charge made by the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. We'll have our reporter Shomit joining us in a short while from now, but once again, yesterday it was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh who made this explosive revelation. As per Chandrababu Naidu, animal fat was used in the prasadam. How did the TDP find out? Leaders of the TDP have come out and have said for days they received complaints. Devotees of Lord Balaji, in fact, wrote to them and said that something doesn't seem right about the prasad. They said that they found some kind of stench in it. After that, a committee was formed to investigate. The committee also came up with its own findings. And now, this report, the samples were sent for testing to this lab in Gujarat in the month of July. In 7 days, the test reports come out. And this has been found in the test report. What is the foreign fat? As per this test report, it has been said that fish oil, it could be fish oil, it could be beef tallow, or it could be lard. Now, lard is the fat extracted from the tissue of a pig. Let's bring out the breaking news that's now coming in. The latest coming in is this report that is confirming all our fears. And as per this report that we've accessed here, and we are breaking down the details, as per this report, the presence of foreign fat has been confirmed. What is that foreign fat? Could it be fish oil? What is fish oil doing in a Tirupati prasadam? Could it be beef tallow? How can beef tallow be used in Tirupati laddoos? Could it also be lard, that is fat extracted from the tissue of a pig? These revelations have been, now TDP has latched on to these revelations. Let's also tell you about what actually is used. Now, like we've been telling you, this is the NDDB report. And once again, we are mentioning to our viewers, was fish oil found in Tirupati Prasadam? As mentioned in the NDDB report, the report that was in fact given to the TDP government in July 2024. This is mentioned in the report. Was beef tallow found? Was lard found? What is this foreign fat? We'll get Shomit to explain the details of this report and how this controversy came to light. But before we go across to Shomit to decode all the details, let's play out that reaction that came in from Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, who put the spotlight on how animal fat was used in Tirupati Prasadam, the holy Tirupati Prasadam.
Tirumala Laddu Guda Nasi Rakam Nakaite Acharya Vestundi Enni complaint chesina Kadana Venkateswara Swami Pavitratanu debadisyaru. ఎన్నో సార్లు చెప్పాం. అక్కడ ఎంత దుర్మార్గంగా ప్రయత్నం చేశారంటే అంత దుర్మార్గంగా ప్రవర్తించారు. కడాన అన్న దానంలో క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఫుడ్ లేకుండా చేశారు. దేవుని దగ్గర పెట్టే ప్రసాదం అపవిత్రం చేసే విధంగా ఓసారి బాధేస్తుంది. నాసి రకమైన ఇంగ్రీడియంట్సే కాకుండా ఎనిమల్ ఫ్యాట్ కూడా వాడారని, ఏది ఘీ బదులు.
Now, Shomit is joining us live. Shomit, you've accessed this report, and this report is giving the TDP more ammunition against the Jagan Mohan Reddy regime. Now, TDP leaders have gone on record to say that over the last couple of months, they got multiple complaints from the devotees of Lord Balaji who were visiting the temple. They said that something is not right about the prasadam. There is some sort of smell that came in. The prasadam, the taste of the prasadam has changed. After that, a committee was formed. Some reports have come in. There is also a vigilance inquiry that is underway. Take us through the entire timeline of events, Shomit.
Well, actually, this is not, like you said, this is not the first time any allegation TTD is facing or the previous government is facing, because, several leaders, including TDP leaders, BJP leaders, they have earlier, during the previous YSRCP regime, they have, attacked and also hit out at the TTD board, the then board, and also the then chairman, and also Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy, starting from the appointment of Y.V. Subba Reddy to Karnakar Reddy to, Dharma Reddy to, all these appointments were initially questioned, and later, even to an extent, BJP has staged a protest demanding that YSRCP is going anti-Hindu, and later, several facts were revealed, stating that even TDP has said that YSRCP has tried to divert the TTD funds. So even after forming the government, the next day itself, Chandrababu Naidu has visited TTD and asked the then additional EO and EO to go on leave, and also he was asked to stay in the city and to not leave the state. And later, that has intensified, and he has ordered and probe. Vigilance department has started probing into the allegations made by the leaders.
So
and
there are multiple investigations that are underway, because the report that has now emerged, the samples that were taken in the month of July to this lab, that is the NEDB lab in Gujarat, the samples confirm the presence of foreign fat, and the report mentions what the foreign fat could be. Now, we need more clarity on the findings, on the committees that have been formed, on the inquiry by the Vigilance Department. Shomit, request you to stay with us, because we also have Krishna Sagar Rao of the Bharatiya Janata Party joining us. Explosive revelations have in fact emerged, Mr. Krishna Sagar Rao. First, it was the Chief Minister, your ally, Chandrababu Naidu, who has said that it is absolutely shocking to know that animal fat was used in the Tirupati prasad. And now there is this report that goes on to confirm the presence of foreign fat. How do you look at these allegations that have now surfaced? The YSRCP is vehemently denying these charges.
No, they can go ahead and deny charges, but what is being proved in the experiments and in the chemical compositions which are existing, or showing the fact that somebody has actually besmirched the whole sanctity of the temple, of the deity. Now, giving the offerings to the god, that to the god of Kali Yuga, and to him to give unholy and not so sanctimonious food and fat-based food, that is also animal fat-based food, or any chemical composition food, is a sin. And if the politics of today is going to go degenerate to that level, I mean, what is coming? And Bharatiya Janata Party condemns this kind of a laxative attitude and criminal conspiracy
but Mr.
against
Krishna
one
Sagar Rao,
religion.
why do you think this happened? Because the TDP is also putting the focus on corruption angle. They say that it was in fact a Karnataka-based dairy that used to give ghee to for the laddus or the prasad that was being prepared. Suddenly the contract is taken away from them, and this happened under the Jagan Mohan regime. There is one company that has also been blacklisted. Why do you think all this happened?
See, the corruption is a part of YSRCP government. I mean, you cannot differentiate the corruption from the government. And most of the governments are. But what I'm trying to say is, when you're dealing with the God, and when you're dealing with the deity of the Kali Yuga, there has to be some amount of fear. in what you're doing. And a billion people's hearts are connected to the God. And if you're going to besmirch the sanctity of the temple and the God by using stuff which is not supposed to be used as an offering to the God,
Right.
I mean, what is to be coming? And what needs to be done? Bharatiya Janata Party demands the strictest action and the whatever the investigations are happening, the justice has to prevail eventually.
Right. Mr. Krishnasagar Rao, there are some leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party who are also appealing that the Home Minister must take note. Do you think, because this is such a grave allegation that has come to the fore, it has to do with the asta of millions of Hindus, millions of devotees of Lord Venkateswara. Do you think the centre must also take note?
The centre must take note.
All right.
Not just the Home Minister, the Prime Minister should also take note.
Okay.
This is not a small issue.
Okay.
This is the big issue. This is the issue of the sacrosanct Balaji Temple's sacrosanctity, and this has to be, this has to be taken up by the topmost authority in the country.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
And we have to
Krishnasagar Rao.
ensure the billions of people.
So big appeal there coming in. Thank you, Mr. Krishnasagar Rao, for joining us this evening. So breaking news coming in at this point of time. The Bharatiya Janata Party, in fact, there are leaders in the state of Andhra Pradesh from the BJP who are appealing to the central government to now take note. They are saying that this is a very big issue. This has to do with the sanctity of the Tirupati temple. Let me also welcome Annam Venkata Ramana Reddy of the TDP. He held a press conference today. He was very, very emphatic when he, in fact, revealed what this report has found. Mr. Venkata Ramana Reddy, thank you so much for joining us on Times Now. The charges...
Madam, a very good evening to you. Tell me, ma'am.
The charges made by the Chief Minister, the presence of animal fat in the sacred prasadam of the Tirupati Balaji temple, has sent shockwaves across the country. But you have said that there is a timeline to all of this. You received complaints. When did all of this start? How did you get to know about these happenings in, this kind of adulteration in the prasadam of the Tirupati, of Lord Venkateswara?
Madam, for the last 3.5 years, after the COVID time that the COVID period was over and the temple was open, repeated complaints have been coming about the quality of the prasadam, not only the prasadam, of the annadhanam which is done there to the pilgrims who come, and the quality of food, and the deterioration in the quality of the laddoo, which is world famous, world renowned, and it is considered as next to God giving us the laddoo. So these complaints have been haven't come today. It's been from the last 2.5, 3 years that these complaints have been pouring in. Not only pouring in, via social media, where people have taken videos in the temple where they were eating and said this food is not tenable, it's not eatable. It's absolutely nonsense, and with the kind of money that pours into Tirumala every day. So we know that the quality had gone down completely. And the milk, the ghee supplier from Karnataka is none other than the Karnataka Milk Dairy Federation, which is a state government unit. Okay. And their brand name is Nandini. It is controlled by the Ministry of, by the Karnataka Ministry. Now, the rate which were given was 320 rupees per kg. Okay, that is when Nandini said that they couldn't supply at that rate the kind of quality of ghee. It was not possible for them. Yes, it is not possible, humanly possible for anybody in the world to give you cow ghee at 320 rupees because a good cow ghee costs almost 1,000 rupees a kg. One which is not adulterated and is absolutely pure is nothing less than 1,000 rupees a kg. So Nandini just put up their hands. And in fact, even at that price, at the price that which we have given to Nandini now is 470. Even that price is not viable, but Nandini came forward, the Karnataka Milk Dairy Federation came forward and said, it is for the Lord. We don't mind losing a little bit, but we will supply. It is more of an emotional attachment that the people of Karnataka have with Govinda, which they came forward, and the ministry also agreed to that. They said, no, it is not issue, we're giving it to the Lord. My point being that there's been a systematic looting of the temple at Tirupati.
Okay. Mr. Venkateswara Reddy, you're talking about a systematic loot. You're talking about how all of this started. You're talking about how, this contract was taken away from Nandini. But let's also focus on the report that you mentioned in your press conference. In your press conference, you spoke about the findings of this report. And there is another Vigilance Department inquiry that is underway. What more details do you have? Okay, I just lost you there for a bit, but I just want to take your attention to that report that you quoted in your press conference. Can you tell us about all the details that have now come to the fore? Because even we are showing that how the presence of foreign fat was in fact found in those samples. But are you confirming that the foreign fat mentioned in the report is fish oil, beef tallow, and lard?
Ma'am, this report is not my report which I have written. It is the National Dairy Development Board from Gujarat, which is a premier agency. In Southeast Asia, they have the best lab in Southeast Asia. They are world renowned for their reports. This report has been given not by me. It has been given by the National Dairy Development Board. They have clearly stated lard, point number 4. Point number 1, fish oil. Point number 3, beef tallow. What is lard? Lard is nothing but animal fat. My point, it's not only beef. It is these animals which have been killed, where there's a big racket going on in South India, where dog meat is supplied. Even dog meat has been used is our contention now. Because lard says animal fat. It could be any animal. It could
So
be
that's a huge allegation you are making. You are suspecting.
Yes,
you are saying that the TDP is suspecting that even dog meat possibly was used. Are you making that allegation?
Ma'am, let me be very clear. It is not an allegation. Ma'am, it is what the report is saying.
Okay. But the report mentions the presence of foreign fat.
Yes, no. They have very clearly said lard. Lard could be any animal. Lard is what? It's animal fat. It's nothing else. So who knows what was there in that?
Okay.
When beef can be there, when fish oil can be there, why not other animals?
Okay. So you're saying this report confirms, you're conclusively saying that this report confirms the presence of foreign fat, which like mentioned is fish oil, lard and beef tallow.
200%.
Okay.
I am saying we have released this report to the press. It is not that we are hiding the report.
Okay.
We have released both this thing to the media. In fact, if required, I have sent it to your channel also. You can please have a look at that report.
All right. I'm completely running out of time here, but I would like to thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Annam Venkateswara Reddy. Big allegations coming in from the TDP. They are citing this report to raise questions on the Jagan Mohan Reddy previous regime. We're keeping a close watch on that story, but time now for us to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more news and updates. Welcome back. We continue keeping our focus on the big story. Was fish oil, beef fat and lard found in the prasadam of the Tirupati temple? Senior journalist R. Rajagopalan is joining us. Sensational allegations coming in. What do you think should be the next course of action, Mr. Rajagopalan?
Chandrababu Naidu should order a CBI inquiry into this because it's a criminal act. Apart from that, it has a political ramifications. The YSR government, during this tenure, was doing anti-Hindu propaganda. That is why it has become a Hindu versus non-Hindus. Every Asta, as you mentioned in your introductory remarks, it creates emotional feelings, lakhs and lakhs of Hindus. Whenever I went to temple at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, we used to chant mantras. Kamala kuchachu chuka kunkumato niyata runita tulani latano kamala yatalo chanalo kapate vijayi bhavave. When we chant this, when we come out, if you are given a pig meat, dog meat, in the prasadam, which is very, very hurting to the every sentimental. I visited the temple with President Sankadaya Sharma, Pranam, etc. If the associate, Devasthanam has done it, there should be a CBI inquiry.
Okay.
Center.
The
As
demand
you-
for CBI inquiry coming in, running out of time, Mr. Rajagopalan, but thank you so much for joining us. Senior journalist Rajagopalan is saying that this is time for a CBI inquiry because these allegations are very, very grave. We keep our focus on the story, viewers, but time now for us to take a short commercial break.